of allowing folks to drive on the beach. We've come and gone with zones where we have driving, we don't. There seems to be a move afoot by some that would like to remove it completely. Certainly a whole lot of people that want to keep it. So what's your position? And we'll start with you, Ms. Cusack.
Well, I told you in the beginning, I was born in New Smyrna and was what they call a river rat. We used to always drive on the beach. Back in the day, we went to Bethune Beach. Now, I like driving on the beach. Do I like cruising on the beach? I do not. Do I think that there is room for improvement as it relates to beach driving? I think we have to begin to look at some areas that we would have to take cars off the beach. Simply because the days of my growing up, you didn't have as many cars as you have today on these beaches. And you have folk that, children are being killed. We've tried to decrease the size of the vehicles that the beach patrol has, but I do believe that I'm one of the die-hard that like driving on the beach. But I'm beginning to think that there is room for both. I would never, well, I shouldn't say never, I would be hard pushed to consent to have no driving on the beach. I can't, that's our heritage. That's where I come from. But I think that we're going to have to make some alliances as it relates to driving.
Thank you. Mr. Barnaby?
Thank you, Maureen. I tell you what, I hate these, what I call kabuki dance. I ain't gonna dance with you. I'm for driving on the beach. I'm for opening up Tiger Bay. That's right, I'm for opening up Tiger Bay to all-terrain vehicles. I am for driving on the beach. You know what, I'm for public safety. I'm for responsible government. I like being a responsible individual. I think when people break the law, they need to pay for breaking the law. I'm not for equivocating and sitting on the fence. And I love the environment. I'm for protecting the environment. But I love Volusia County for our uniqueness, and I don't want to change the uniqueness of Volusia County just because we got some hot Russians coming in to build some hot resorts and they want to shut it off for their highfalutin friends so that regular folk can't enjoy what God has given us. This land is our land. You remember that song, folks? Huh? Is it still our land?
But you have to realize, if you can't have your cake and eat it too.
I like to eat cake.
I do too. You can look at both of us and tell them about cake.
Ms. Cusack, I'm going to turn this over to the audience in about a couple minutes. But I have one quick clarification on the beach driving based on Maureen's excellent going in that direction. There are 4, 5, 6 million people, I have the numbers in front of me, that come to our beaches. They talk about contraction. One of the issues where a 3-year-old girl was killed, a toddler from England, I believe in Daytona Beach proper. She was running. Parents were yelling at the folk, grab a kid. She was running in and out of traffic. Lady was doing 5 miles an hour. A little kid, you know, a tire. It's inevitable.
It's a playground.
Okay, well, let me get to that. The second child that was killed, 2 children's deaths in 30 years. Second child, Deltona family, hardworking dad, couple kids with him. He had a 3-year-old boy. He cut up some watermelon and he decided to go to surf to wash off the knife. Well, you know, every little boy worships his father. Even my little kid worshipped me. Now it's 20 and it's forget it. Anyway, little boy sees his dad in the surf. Daddy, Daddy, comes running. Just like that, father's like, my God, you can't do anything. This kid's head's under a wheel. The guy was doing less than 10 miles an hour. That family is now suing Volusia County. As far as the Desert Inn, I agree with it. You need some issues where if you can find a hot spot, a 5-star hotel, maybe it is worth considering. But where do you put the cars that are there? The county solution is, okay, we don't want the cars on the beach, it's dangerous, people are gonna die. So we'll put them on the opposite side of A1A. I'm in 2 lanes going this way, 2 lanes going that way, and a turning lane in the middle. So that's 5 lanes. We're gonna put the cars on the thing. But Jim Deneen did say, Joyce, Ms. Cusack, that, hey, they're not gonna use it for overfilled parking. We have that assurance. And even Commissioner Daniels is like, well, with DOT, we get the traffic light. Kind of tough. Once you take those cars out of there, you don't get them back. New Smyrna Beach now is overtaken Daytona Beach, I think at least 3 years ago. Everybody knows on a Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon, the cars are back past, Route 40, State Road 44, all the way to the I-95 overpass. And Flagler Avenue is a 2-lane road. And the side streets are just, it's overrun. So where do you go with, you're talking about taking cars off the beach. We have like, I don't know, 5 or 6 now parking areas where there's playgrounds and equipment, where it's, cities like Ormond. What's that one that was built, Joy, Ms. Cusack, a couple of years ago in Ormond?
Oh, that's the,
Named after some official or something. And then there's one at Esther Street in New Smyrna, up and down. I mean, where is if you want to take the cars off the beach, where are you going to put them? On the other side of A1A? They built a parking garage when they took them off behind the Ocean Center. And they only go to the parking garage, you ability to go to the movies or graduations at the Ocean Center and things like that.
Well, obviously, the answer to the parking dilemma is going to have to be parking garages. Where you put the parking garages is going to be a logistical and a very expensive
that's what I'm asking.
undertaking.
How you gonna pay for that?
Well, it's going to be both logistical and an expensive undertaking if you want to close driving on the beach.
Well, where do they have the parking garages for the Russian towers and the Ocean Walk?
Which is why my suggestion would be a lot cheaper. I've advocated that we bring back the beach patrol and give it back to the Volusia County Sheriff's Department, and we beef up the patrol on all beaches by the Sheriff's Department, who, by the way, were the first responders to the lady who tried to drive her minivan into the ocean with her kids. Where was the beach patrol? Why was it that the Volusia County Sheriffs were the ones that responded to that incident?
I believe if it weren't for the beach patrol, those children would have died. And to be honest about it, it was the Daytona Beach Police Department and my favorite chief that intercepted them from a family 911 call.
Yeah.
Oh, and they forgot to communicate there and ask her, ma'am, is the devil speaking to you? Had they asked that simple question, was communicated in a 911 call, she would have been taken to a facility. Those children would have never been at that beach. So that's the law enforcement gap, I guess, even with the consolidated dispatch. But
I think that we're gonna have to get off-beach parking. That's gonna have to happen. But how do we do that? Where's the money? Those are all things that has to be worked through. I can't sit here and say that I have the answers as to how we're gonna get all of this. Should we use ECHO money to do off-beach parking? I have some concerns about that. But there are those that think that that is the way that we ought to go. But you get the people from the environmental, they don't want to use that money. But a percentage of that money is designated for outdoor. And so I believe that it's going to happen that we will be able to use some of the ECHO funding to build outside parking, a garage, parking garage. I don't have all of the answers to that, but I do know that we have got to do something about the traffic on the beach, and we've got to provide a place for folks to park.
And so far, it's been excellent. You guys have been really top notch. I wanted to pay recognition to get to David Machuga is a candidate for District 3 County Council, and he was here last night, and I saw Justin Kennedy.
He just left.
Okay, he was the other candidate, and the incumbent, Ms. Denny's, wasn't here. And there's two of you here tonight. With that said, I'm going to turn it over. Who wants to go first in the audience? Okay, Cheryl first. Go ahead. Your full name and where you live.
My name is Cheryl Manch. I'm from Osteen. I have a question for both of you. You both mentioned a couple of our country's founding rights through your arguments. Our Constitution's Fifth Amendment strongly enforces property rights by demanding homeowners are be given equal representation and especially just compensation for our land. This year, 5 county council members have taken acres of Osteen homeowners' properties without paying a penny. What are you going to do to get back our founding rights of property?
Very briefly, please. We have a lot of questions.
Who
wants
wants to go first?
Go ahead.
Oh, she wanted to go first. Well, in the first place, I would not have voted to take your property. Property rights are sacrosanct. The framers of our Constitution recognizes that property owners have stake in the nation. And in fact, let me just say this. You know, the city where I live in, one of the problems that I'm trying to fix is this over-problem of renters, people renting where they have no stake, because when you rent, it's not yours, it belongs to the landlord. When you're a property owner, one of the things I did when I was a property manager in Europe, I was in charge of 2,000 properties, and we were instrumental in helping people who are renters become property owners. I found it rather egregious that members of the county council, through this Murphy Act, decided to take land without you having proper representation. You talk about tax without representation. I mean, that was just totally outside. That's another one of the reasons why I said it's important that we replace the current county council. We have to have new blood. We cannot keep having the same old, same
Commissioner Barnaby, let me just clarify for Cheryl. We are talking about the trails
that as well.
where they took the properties and cutting through,
Yes.
cutting their properties basically in half.
Let me clarify that.
Yeah, please.
Okay, they originally said it was for the trail, but we uncovered the fact that they were trying to take that land, which ties into Oak Hill, to turn Osteen Maytown Road into a 4 to 6 lane road
Yep.
that will cut through from Oak Hill all the way to 415. And they did not deny it. They did not deny it. So they're using millions of dollars for rails to trail to take land for free for future 4-lane.
These are things that I've told the residents are part of a master plan. Individuals who have served in Tallahassee, known for years that they have master plans to take these wonderful towns, which to me is Americana, Oak Hill, Edgewater, thank God for these little towns. I don't want to see these towns eliminated, but you've got elected officials that have long-term planning to take these towns and eliminate them. I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, get out there and talk to your friends and your family and loved ones. We got to get rid of these people that want to change Volusia County for the worse. We need a better Volusia, not a worse Volusia, a better Volusia.
Go ahead, Judge.
Okay,
Briefly, please.
I am a native Volusia County,
Yes, you are.
born and bred here. I believe in property rights.
Good to hear.
I did not vote for that.
That's right.
I have never voted for anything that takes property rights from people.
Good.
Never. And so, when you talk about replacing, maybe you should have run in District 5. And not at the law. However, I want you to know that he's absolutely on target. I do not believe in, I was in Tallahassee. Let me tell you, a lot of things is wrong with Tallahassee. Just like a lot of things might be wrong in some other areas of government. It's not all right in Deltona. Don't believe that. Don't believe that. Don't believe that everything is all peaches and cream in New Smyrna or Edgewater. There are problems in every town, but every town needs a George Cusack on their town. I am for the people and have always been. That's why I've never been opposed or been unelected. Never,
Okay,
because of that.
Thank you. Ma'am in the back, you identify yourself, your home
Julie Wood.
community. Home community, please, again.
One quick statement.
Ma'am,
And then
Julie,
I have a
your home
question.
community.
Huh?
Julie, with your home community.
I'm from Oak Hill.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
One quick statement and then I have a question. I would imagine, 10 years ago, I sat on the MPO and I asked them about a 95 exchange for Oak Hill, and they said they weren't gonna do it. I also found out that they were escalating the numbers for Oak Hill, which something was shady about that, and they wanted to pull me in a back room to try to cover that fact up. However, I would imagine, because I read it or talked to someone somewhere, that now the idea to put a 95 exchange for Oak Hill is on the board for Oak Hill and Osteen. It should be. We're the only city that doesn't have it on the 95 corridor. Everybody has one every 7 miles. They're getting ready to put one sometime in the future for Pioneer Trails. At least that was the discussion. But we need that. We need that because there's a lot of traffic now that Maytown has been paid.
Could you
And
get
it's
to the
beneficial
question,
for
please?
both cities.
Ma'am, if you get to the question.
I'm going to do my question now. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
For both of you, the first question is, do you consider yourself an implementer or just a voter?
I'm an implementer.
Okay, good, because I want you to be the first one to answer this. What have you implemented in the city of Deltona as a commissioner that has had an economic or otherwise benefit to the residents of Deltona?
I've implemented the vote to make sure that we have started construction on the new sewage water treatment plant that will bring the necessary infrastructure to bring in the commercial businesses that's needed and the commercial entertainment that's needed to the residents. And I've also voted to establish the new industrial office park that will put Deltona on the map near the Interstate 4.
You said you voted. When you say you implemented the vote, what do you mean by implementing?
Well, I'm part of a collective. As a commissioner, we vote together.
I know, but did you, when you implement something, you are the designer, you put that into action. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you vote with somebody.
Legislators legislate.
No, I'm talking about projects. What
Okay,
projects have you-
I'm sorry, ma'am. Ms. Cusack, do you want to answer her question?
We don't bring projects as legislators. Legislators don't bring projects. Legislators pass legislation. That's what we do.
Well, I've always worked with people from the legislature or commissioners.
As a former legislator, I bought dollars for infrastructure for areas of the land in West Volusia County. Now, as a member of the county council, I've been very, very strong as it relates to property rights. As far as the Pioneer Trail interchange, I was the one person that voted that the citizens had a right to have a grocery store over there on Pioneer Trail. I was the only member. I did not have that approved because it was a 6-1 vote. But I believe, ma'am, that it's so important that you look at the least of these. I believe that the sewer is a big issue in particularly small areas, like Oak Hill. But I believe that you must want to have, I want to make sure that we have the infrastructure in place. And I don't want you to be forced to hook up. I want you to make that decision yourself because it costs money to hook up.
That's true.
So that's where I am. Those are at least two things that deal with water.
One quick point, that vote for the supermarket, that was the Maury Husseini issue?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Who's next, ma'am? Oh, I'm sorry, you'll go next, I promise. No, go ahead, ma'am, I'm standing.
Hi,
Name and home community.
my name is Audrey Lee. I'm from Deland.
That's great.
Right. I know that we must feel very honored to have you come from England to teach us pitiful Americans how things ought to be done. You were elected less than a year ago to represent the people in Deltona.
3 years ago.
2 years ago?
1 year, 7
2012.
months.
I'm sorry,
1 year, 7 months.
less than 2 years ago, okay.
He was elected in November of
Okay,
2012.
all right.
That's a year and 7 months.
And here you sit before us and ask that we allow you to leave those people that you made all kinds of promises to when you were running. To acquiesce to the promises that you're making tonight. Why should we do that?
Are you abandoning your constituents, Commissioner Barnaby?
Sounds like it to me.
It's a fair question, Mr. Henry. This is the same lady who, Mrs. Lee, is it?
Bella,
Audrey Lee?
that's right, that told you off a few weeks ago.
Okay,
That's
let's-
right. Same
no,
one.
we're gonna end it right there.
Same
Um,
one.
Well, let me just say that, Audrey.
I don't want to get into it.
I don't think you should, but I think it's disgraceful that a grown adult, a black woman,
That's not.
Please.
I'm gonna let the public know that a black woman like this could say to a black man, why don't I take my
That's
black
very
behind back to where I came from?
That's very
How could you
That's
be
right.
so low and ignorant to do that?
That's
Because of you.
Okay,
People
ma'am,
like
Isn't
you.
that shameful?
Please.
I mean, I would never have anyone with that type of caliber
See, in
a part
order
of
to
my
re- in
campaign.
order-
Stop,
To use
please.
that derogatory
Commissioner Barnaby.
baiting.
Commissioner
That's what I
Barnaby,
said, and that's what I
That is
meant.
very low. That is very low. You
And
ought to be
so
ashamed of
are you.
yourself.
And you are very
That's a
low.
very
Time
disgraceful.
out.
wait a minute.
Time out. Everybody,
What
everybody.
happens
Thing to say.
Everybody, please.
Very
Joyce,
disgraceful.
Zero.
What happens,
Joyce, go ahead.
what happens is that
And the public needs to
You-
know that.
Mr. Barnaby, please.
the first thing you learn as an elected official is to control your temper.
I'm well in control of myself.
No, you didn't act like it.
Well, because I'm not the normal guy that will let people run over me. I won't do it.
Okay, okay.
I'm not your normal fetch and step it. I won't fetch and step it for that lady or any other person in here. I will stand up and let you know that you are out of order, ma'am.
And so are you.
You are completely out. Look,
Please.
I mean, it's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
Next question.
Okay, now, hold it, please. Stop.
No class.
Mrs. Cusack, please, 10 seconds.
All I want to say is that
Let
you
him
must
speak, please.
always treat each other with respect and dignity.
Yes.
And that goes both ways. So that's what, as an elected official, you can be assured that will always treat you with respect and dignity. Whether I agree or not, I will respect you as a human being and I will treat you accordingly
And you always have.
and will always continue.
Ma'am, you are next. Name and home where you live.
Want to follow that? Catherine Pavey from Osteen.
Okay.
And first, I would like to thank you both for showing up to this debate. It's unfortunate that the current Area 5 council member was not here to represent her district. Instead of becoming a larger police state to resolve the homeless population and the crimes resulting from the illiterate and impoverished people, what are your solutions to use that money to educate and show a path to the homeless people and jobs and for their homes? In turn, they will be productive members of society. And I'm an educator, so I know if you educate people, they will usually go in the right path.
Do you have a question?
That was the question. What are they going to do?
Okay, I'm
Do they have a
sorry.
solution?
Thank you, Ms. Phoebe, for being here. Someone greater than I said that if you give a man a fish, you have food for today. But if you teach him to fish, he can eat for the rest of his life. I believe that education is the key. I believe that we need to have quality, affordable schools. And I want to always be on the end of trying to make sure that we implement those type of things as it relates to good, quality, affordable education for our children.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cusack. In the back, one of the gentlemen, the guy in the blue shirt, then I'll get to you, sir. A gentleman in the dark, solid blue shirt, not the striped blue shirt.
Hi there. I'm from Daytona Beach.
I'm sorry, your name again, please?
My name is Greg Gembert. I'm from Daytona Beach. Y'all done a lot of beating on Daytona tonight. First off, I want to echo the ladies and the other sentiments, and thank y'all for coming. It's the epitome of hypocrisy that we've got the lady who holds herself out as the consummate environmentalist and Democrat, bankrolled by the biggest Republican donor who's cut down more trees than Paul Bunyan, who thinks that she can paper over the truth with all that money and not even have to show up and address either of us. Whether you support this man, that woman, or don't know what the heck to do. She don't think she needs any of y'all. So I hope that when you leave here tonight, no matter what you tell anybody, you can tell them, vote for this man, vote for this woman. But I hope your overwhelming message is whatever you do is don't vote for Pat Northey.